Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are going to do the other lab, which is focused on upgrading a video card. Here is the scenario. You work at a computer repair. A customer wants to upgrade the video card in their computer to provide more memory, faster processing power, and additional features. The customer want to be able to do the following. First, use the computer to watch high definition movie on a Blu-ray player. Second, connect their monitor to the computer using the most modern connection available. In this lab, your task is to remove the existing cable and video card from both computer and the monitor. Be sure do the cable first, remove the cable first. And also install a video card that will meet a custom need. Make sure to provide the power to the card if necessary. Connect the video card to the monitor using the correct cable. Finally, power on the computer and verify that the new card is working. So as you see, there is at least 4 different type of tasks depend on the requirement that given by customer. As IT specialist, your job is to make sure your customer is satisfied with what you did. The only way that you can able to make that happen is if you are listening carefully to the customer demand, or if you are read carefully the instruction that given to you that might come through the ticketing system. So as we already understand, we have 2 main requirements. So let's start one by one. The first one is that use the computer to, it's the high definition movie Blu-ray. That's the specification. So the task that we need to do is the first part is to remove the existing cables and video cord from both computer and the monitor. So let's see what actually already connect over there. So in order to do that, we have to start with monitor. So we have to turn, because we can't able to see anything, that turn it down this way because we can't read anything from here. So we have to turn back the monitor. So as you see down here, this one should be, if you click over here, this should be the power. This is a power cable. So that's not like what they are talking about. So they remove the existing cable on the video card. Is the cable is what actually connecting the video card. And it say be sure to remove the cable first, because this cable is actually connecting to the video card from inside. So like, even though the cord is connected from outside, it's actually connecting inside. So that's why we have to remove the cable first before we remove the actual card. So let's start with removing the cable first. As we see, there's only 2 cables. The first one is power, which we're not supposed to be removed. So the second one is, if we click on, we can able to read that this is VGA, VGA to VGA cable. So we can remove this one. That's the first thing. So you can take this back to the cable, so, or you can just leave it right there and then just remove it. Second, we have to move to the computer. So we have to turn the computer back to make sure we remove that. So it's down here. So as you see, this is also VGA. So we remove that. So that means very much we are done to remove the cable. We just remove the existing cable from both computer and the motherboard. Second, second, we have to remove the video card because this is the old video card that we that not really satisfy the customer, so we have to remove it and then make sure that the customer requirement is fulfilled. Because of that, we have to remove that. So where the video card actually located? If you already do the other lab before this one, and that means if you already deal with the motherboard and which part of the motherboard that different type of device that actually or different type of memory is connected to, you already familiar with that, and for sure you understand that there's no way you think about the video card is inside the monitor. So the monitor is just there for display, nothing else. There's nothing that you can connect to monitor and then do the stuff for you. So because of that, you have to aware of that the monitor, the video card is inside the computer, which is actually on the monitor motherboard. So because of that, we have to turn the motherboard around, and then we have to open the motherboard and actually remove that from there. So in order to see exactly what's going on, so we have to a little bit maximize this. And also the other thing that you have to make sure that you understand is that motherboard, I mean, on the motherboard, there's different part of the motherboard as you already go through. And the video card is actually connect to the PCI area only. So which is down here. So you cannot able to connect any other part of where whatever you have on the motherboard, you cannot able to connect that to anywhere. So because of that, that is only what I can able to guess. So this is what it look like. The video card that's already existed. So I can grab this one and I can able to see, yes, that's the one. So I can remove that and or put somewhere over here. So in order to understand what it is. So as you see here, this is the video adapter, which is VGA PCI. So because of that, that's why we already removed the VGA from both computer and the motherboard. That will conclude the first step, which is removing the cables and the video card from monitor from the computer, which is actually from the motherboard, and the cable from both computer and the motherboard. Now we can move to the second task that we need to do, which is say install the video card that will meet the customer needs. Make sure to provide the power to the card if necessary. So that's kind of another extra information that you have to pay attention to it because just in case that may be needed. Depend on where you actually connect that power to. So how we know which one is really meet this requirement because they say use the computer to watch the high definition movie on the Blu-ray player and also connect their monitor to the computer using the most modern connection available. So there's two things that you have to understand very well down here. The first one is the hint is the modern connection. So like we already see the first one is VGA. That's what we actually removed. So what the other type of the modern connection that will we have, or that we already discussed before? That's the first question you have to ask yourself. Second, when you're talking about the high definition, which type of connection that really give the high definition? So it's not only based on the type of card, but it also depend on the connection that that card is actually providing. So where we got that information from? So we have to go to the graphical processing unit or expansion card, and then we have to go through down here and see which one we have. So you can just compare different type of the card which is already listed down here. So if you was thinking about the modern, what is related to VGA and DVI, is mostly the modern one is the display port and HDMI. So anything that have display port or HDMI, that will be the main uh, specific, or the main one that you are kind of able to consider. Oh, it will be one of that we can able to use. So I want to return this one back here, so I don't want to confuse that with any other one. So I just put right there, and I want to move HDMI one, which have DVI HDMI, to the station right here. So if you see down here, so this is the video adapter which have DVI and HDMI. I know the DVI is kind of old, but as far as it support HDMI, that should be the one which is more powerful than any that listed down here. So the second step is after you decide the right card. So the second step is to decide which one it could be go in. So where it can be go. So this is the only area. We unplug the other one from here. So where this one can able to go. So that is something you have to decide. So we can grab that maybe before we grab that, what we can able to decide is the shape. So this is the entire of the card, but there's the different way you can able to connect. So as you see, there's the small connection down here too, but mostly this is the main part where we're going to connect. So you have to look for something that at least look like these parts. So like this is the long part, and then there's the other small piece. So either you just grab and try everything what you have down here, or you can just decide which one looks like that. So obviously these two has like should be have three parts. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, which we don't have that. This one is have kind of a little bit longer side. So we have this side is longer, this side is shorter, where we have very small side down here. So the most probably what we left with is these two, which is very close to each other, the blue ones. So not the white ones and the blue ones. So we can try that. Let's try the first one. Well, what if we try this? Let's go there. It worked. So what if we try the other one? It worked. So I think it doesn't matter wherever you fit, because it is like it can fit the blue ones, because that the shape is the same thing. So you can live wherever you want. I think it doesn't really matter. So that's the main thing. And Since they say install the card that will meet the customer needs and make sure to provide the power the card is necessary, if it's necessary, I think there should be, it really need that power. So as you see, there's the power down here. So the power, uh, the pin, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pin. But this is PCI. In order to get the power for the PCI, what we have to do is to go to the power supply, which is down here. So we have to click on that. And then on the right side, as you see down here, there's different type of connector that listed down here. So as I already count the number of pins, so we have to look for the 6 pin, but we have to make sure that pin should be, say, PCI. If it says something else, we cannot able to connect it. So as you see down here, we have the power supply for 6 pin PCIe. We have the other one down here too, because we have so different place. I'm thinking whatever, either the first one or the second one, whatever we grab, I think it should be work. All right, as you see, that is work correctly for us. So that concludes the second part of the task that we need to do. Moving on, we are moved to the third task that say connect the video card to monitor using the correct cable. Of course, even though say that we have to connect to both monitor and the computer, because if we don't do that, there's no way this monitor, this thing is going to be work. So we have to connect that to the computer too as well. Then in order to do, we have to turn back the computer to backside, which look like this. And we have to turn back the monitor. So the monitor, because we already move it, everything, and now we have to go back to the cables. So since we have only VGA and HDMI that we are sure, we are not going to use VGA because the card that we just choose doesn't take the VGA. It only takes DVI and HDMI. Because of that, we cannot able to use VGA, so we have to grab the HDMI. So in order to get the one side of HDMI, so it's already selected. So just grab one side and plug that here. That help us to connect the right cable to the monitor, and the other one which is left, we have to connect that to the computer. So which one is the right one? It's a little bit hard to decide. The right one is the one down here. So this is the actually VGA, so we did not going to use that, so we have to use that. So that actually connect correctly our computer and the monitor together. So as you see, this is highlighted and then this is highlighted. So like that means it works together. Finally, power on the computer and verify that the new card is working. How we know if it's work? That there should be display correctly from the computer that actually display on the monitor. So we have to turn around both monitor and computer to actually see what's going on. So as we see, the monitor is actually already power on. So the only thing we need to do power on is the computer. That's by pressing this power button. And if that one is displayed correctly, you can guess that everything is working fine. All right, as you see down here, so the computer is correctly turn it on, that means it's displaying correctly. I think want to see like side by side. Let's see, like if even you can just want to put this way so you can able to see nicely what it looks like the monitor is displaying. The computer is right here. So that way you can just, I think, click this, or you can just double click and then it's full screen. And if you just back to the bench, and then that's how you can able to see the difference. One last thing before we check for score and to make sure everything is working fine, you have to note that since we are using the powerful graphics, if this is the real computer, you can take the advantage of adding different drivers or the software to that you use all the function of the powerful graphic card, because the graphic card is what really help the computer to running different software that can take a lot of graphics resource. So hopefully this is just a lab, and that is really helpful for you to understand how their computer is work, but this is not really the real world computer, but it's a really good example of that. So let's score and see what if we done the lab correctly or not. All right, as you see, we score 100%, which means we are connecting, removing the different cables and connect the right cables, and we provide the power supply to the motherboard, and that's conclude our lab. And thank you for watching.